Now, CBS 42 News at 10 starts with developing news.
Tonight, we are experiencing the calm before the storm. We're under a weather alert for this coming Saturday, tracking the possibility of severe weather. Good evening. I'm Sherry Jackson.
I'm Jack Royer. We begin tonight at the Storm Team Weather Center. Chief Meteorologist Ashley Gann tracking the latest on a Wednesday. Ashley.
Yeah, we're tracking a clear sky right now, but that's all going to change very soon as rain arrives on Friday, and then that is going to turn into storms by Saturday. Want to go ahead and show you our future cast through the remainder of Thursday and then into Friday morning, where we're going to see some light rain there as we start the day on Friday. Now, keep in mind, Friday afternoon, the storms that roll through West Alabama will be keeping an eye on, simply because this could actually help to stabilize the atmosphere just a little bit before a very active weather pattern sets up. Check this out. This is brand new information on our new Futurecast. This is our in-house model. So there you see the bigger picture. So the rain that's moving in Friday. All right, but look what's happening back towards Texas and Arkansas. This is going to be Friday night. Look at this line of thunderstorms. This is really going to be packing a huge punch for Louisiana, Arkansas, and into Mississippi. Wow. Saturday morning, 5 a.m. from Memphis down towards Jackson. It is going to be an active morning in the Magnolia State. This moves into Alabama mid-morning Saturday. I'll let you know what our threats are going to be and how long this threat will last. That's ahead in your Storm Team 7-day forecast.
Ashley, thank you. Tonight, a potentially dangerous dietary supplement is available in gas stations across Alabama. It's called Tiana, and it's advertised as a replacement for the now banned drug Kratom. CBS 42 News reporter Malik Rankin joins us live in Shelby County. Malik, you've talked with a family tonight who has firsthand knowledge of the power of Tiana.
Tiana's main ingredient is tianeptine. It's highly addictive, leaving those that use it wanting more and more. It's marketed to help with anxiety and depression and is labeled as an herbal supplement.
It got to a point where I was taking, 7 pills at a time, and it got up to 15 pills at a time, and it would just get you that euphoric feeling of opiates just like heroin would. And I became dependent on it.
Nick Lykos is now 3 weeks clean after a 3-year addiction to Tiana. He began taking it because the drug claims to help with anxiety and depression.
Marketed as an herbal supplement, but please understand there is nothing herbal about this product.
The synthetic drug is highly addictive.
I got to the point where I was taking anywhere from 30 to 60 to 120 pills per day.
And costly.
Tianeptine claims to offer a euphoric high whenever someone consumes it. The average price of one little bottle can be upwards of $45 for 15 pills.
I have maxed out all of our credit cards. I had a car that was paid off that I refinanced to pay off those credit cards and in turn to max them out in a month.
Nick came clean to his wife Barbara when the addiction was too expensive. Now the couple is spreading their message so others don't fall victim.
The lies, the destruction you're doing to your body, you have no idea, nobody has any idea what you're actually putting in your body. It's not regulated by the FDA.
Bottom line, tianeptine is highly addictive. The withdrawals are reckless. This is not a product that should be carelessly taken or consumed.
State lawmakers have drafted a bill to make the main ingredient in Tiana, tianeptine, a Schedule II drug, meaning you won't be able to get it at gas stations or anywhere. To read the full bill, go to CBS42.com. Live in Shelby County, I'm Malik Rankin, CBS 42 News, local coverage you can count on.
Malik, thanks. To news out of Washington tonight, where President Trump backed away today from the immediate prospect of more conflict with Iran.
This comes after the Pentagon report that no U.S. lives were lost in Tehran's response to the killing of its top general. There has been some speculation that Iran intentionally hit the bases without causing casualties, but the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, says he doesn't think so. Vice President Mike Pence spoke to CBS News' Norah O'Donnell today about what the U.S. desire is in that region.
We don't seek regime change in Iran, but we want to see the regime change its behavior.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi plans to take a vote on a war powers resolution Thursday to try and limit President Trump's military action in Iran.
And coming up in just a few minutes, I'll be joined live by Colonel Ed Rao. We'll get his analysis of the ongoing situation with Iran, drawn from his decades of national security and military experience. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
New tonight, a man accused of sexually assaulting an autistic teenager is in jail tonight on charges of rape, human trafficking as well. This is in both Brent and Centerville. A picture of 35-year-old Roy Thomas Grammer May of Centerville. According to police, he sexually assaulted a 15-year-old autistic female over the past 2 years. He's being held in the Bibb County Jail on a $770,000 bond. Police tell us more charges are expected.
The mother of a 5-year-old girl killed is pleading not guilty to child neglect tonight. Brianna Williams entered the plea today in a Jacksonville, Florida courtroom. Taylor Rose Williams was reported missing in Florida last November. The toddler's remains were found later that month in Alabama. Prosecutors are charging her mother now with 2 counts of child neglect and 1 count of giving false information to investigators.
A 23-year-old special education teacher from Madison County, Alabama, has been sentenced to 3 years probation. This comes after she pleaded guilty to having sexual contact with 2 students. Lindsay Bates' conviction of having sex with a student, engaging in a sex act with a student younger than 19, and distributing obscene material to a student. A district attorney said both students were at least 16 years old. Neither was in her class.
Tonight, the mayor of Fultondale says Quick Trip Corporation has withdrawn their proposal for a truck stop in that city. The truck stop would have been at the Walker Chapel Road exit on I-65 South. There was community pushback to that proposal, with some residents expressing concern that the development could bring more crime and more traffic. Mayor Jim Lowry saying in a statement tonight, quote, "I informed them that under no circumstance would our administration support a truck stop on that site." The mayor went on to say that he is ready to assist the property owner in securing a development that will enhance the surrounding community.
Big news in the Magic City today. Nearly 100 Birmingham City School students were paired up with local employers as part of the Birmingham Promise Apprenticeship Program. CBS 42 News reporter Corey McGinnis joins us now after speaking with some of those students who are beginning a very new journey today. Corey?
Yeah, Sherry, good evening. A big journey for a lot of students. Tonight I got the chance to speak with one of those high school students who's very thankful for the opportunities that lie ahead. A lot of local Birmingham high school students put on coats, ties, and dresses Thursday to walk across this stage at Birmingham Museum of Art.
Oh, yeah, because I'm just so proud of them.
Ian Mackey, who was just one of the nearly 100 students matched with 60 local employers as part of the next phase of the Birmingham Promise Apprenticeship Program.
Ian Mackey?
Mackey was selected from nearly 100 applicants from across the school district and will be placed in a semester-long apprenticeship starting later this month. Tearing up, Sybil Scarborough standing next to her godson, Mackey.
It was my first step into entering the business field, so I was very excited about that.
The opportunity to work for Encompass Birmingham, a healthcare office, means the world for Mackey after he says he's been faced with several setbacks in life.
I have a low GPA and low test scores, and I'm trying to get into a prestigious Ivy League college, and that does bring about obstacles.
But he says the help of his godmother supporting him has been significant and a blessing.
Just for this opportunity to come to Ian is just unbelievable. He has been through so much, but he is a trooper.
During the students' apprenticeships, they'll earn a living wage, high school academic credit, and have access to their company they're matched with.
Tonight is the night where we make that first commitment to saying we want to help you move into the workforce way before you leave the school system.
And it's just the beginning for Mackey, who plans to walk on a different stage at Howard University in the future.
Plan on majoring in philosophy with a double minor in epistemology and metaphysics.
And we wish the best of luck, of course, for Mackey and all the other high school students at tonight's event. Miranda Woodfin was also in attendance, who reminded the students to work hard and to make sure that you're on time. We're live in Birmingham tonight. Corey McGinnis, CBS 42 News, local coverage you can count on.
Exciting new chapters. Corey, thank you. New tonight, Attorney General Steve Marshall sent a letter to lawmakers today saying he opposes the legalization of medical marijuana in Alabama. In that letter, Marshall said, quote, "I'm deeply troubled by the parallels that experts have identified between our current opioid crisis and the rapid entree by many states into legalizing marijuana for medical use." Marshall goes on to say that he's also concerned about the outcomes of mixing opioids with marijuana, saying it's something a state with Alabama's rate of opioid prescriptions cannot afford to ignore. We spoke with Clay Hammock with the Shelby County Drug Task Force about the AG's letter.
We want to speak loud and clear that just because we put the word medicinal in front of this plant, by no means communicates with authority that this is a medicine.
Those who favor legalizing medical marijuana in Alabama say it can be used to treat pain for patients who are suffering from different types of illnesses.
Tonight, Miles College has received the single largest gift by a donor in the school's history. The donor is a name you know, NBA Hall of Famer Charles Barkley, and it's worth $1 million. President Bobby Knight says the gift lays the foundation to launch Miles College's $100 million comprehensive campaign. We sat down with Knight today to discuss the generosity of this gift.
And though he didn't go to an HBCU, everybody knows he went to Auburn University. He wanted to help Miles College, and I really appreciate that. And I think all of our students, our faculty and staff, everyone, our Board of Trustees, we're all so grateful for this.
Knight says some of that money will be set aside for scholarships.
There's more news ahead here tonight at 10. President Trump now signaling a possible de-escalation with Iran.
This after missile strikes hit bases housing U.S. soldiers in Iraq. Next, we'll sit down with a colonel with years of defense experience to discuss the ongoing situation.
Then, Alabama broadcaster Chris Stewart makes a triumphant return. We talked with Chris as he calls his first home game since his medical scare.
After a nice day tomorrow, we're going to enter into a very active weather pattern. Rain for Friday and a strong line of thunderstorms for Saturday. Details coming up in your Storm Team 7-day forecast.
You're watching CBS 42, local coverage you can count on with Sherry Jackson, Jack Royer, Chief Meteorologist Ashley Gann, and sports with Chris Brees. This is CBS 42 News at 10.
Iran has been the leading sponsor of terrorism, and their pursuit of nuclear weapons threatens the civilized world. We will never let that happen.
That was the president this morning addressing the nation following 2 missile strikes on bases housing U.S. soldiers in Iraq. In that address, the president signaled a possible de-escalation of the conflict. I'm joined tonight by Colonel Ed Rao, who has over 50 years of national security and military experience, including with the Army, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and the Office of the Secretary of Defense. He now teaches a class on national security at Birmingham Southern. Sir, thank you for being here.
Good to be here.
Let's talk tonight about the threat that still exists. This has been a long week for military families, some 60,000 troops still in that region. Is there a threat that still exists in your view tonight in Iraq?
Well, a threat always exists when you've got a force in the field that is opposed to the United States being there. So you have, of course, Iran, and then you've got their network of militia in there that are opposing us. So the threat's always there, and it's going to be there forever.
We see the Iranian parliament essentially asking the U.S. to leave. We've heard the reignition of calls from some political figures saying maybe it's time to get out of Iraq. What say you with your years of experience?
I say it's not yet time, but it's something that should be considered. You've got to assess the situation, weigh the pros and cons, come up with the answer. Are we going to lose more by leaving and we're going to create a worse situation, or can we do something while we're there? What are objectives for staying there? You got to have clear objectives, and you got to have an end state, what you want it to look like when you leave. I don't think we've achieved that.
You don't think we've achieved that right now?
Not yet.
The Vice President said tonight he believes the region, the world is safer after what has happened. The President saying today they don't expect more escalation. Do you agree with that assessment?
Anytime you take an enemy force off the battlefield, it's going to be safer for your soldiers. So I would agree with that, yes. Does that eliminate all danger? No, it does not.
For military families, for those serving, wondering what comes next, we can speculate about threats all day. If there's a military family watching tonight, what would you say to them, especially ones who've not dealt with this kind of fear that they may be deployed at some point?
First of all, this is not unusual. It's been that way forever. Every time you get soldiers out in the field, there's a danger. They're always in harm's way. I would thank their families for letting them serve, and I would thank those soldiers for letting them serve our country. They're doing an important job, and they need to have a clear-cut mission and know what we want them to do and the desired end state for them to work toward.
Colonel Rao, we thank you for your service and thank you for your time and expertise tonight. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you, Jack.
Sherry, Ashley, over to you.
We're in the